We're doing a demonstration of the SPL Pro module, which is an in-app purchase available in the AudioTools app. And we are actually running this on the simulator on the Mac so that we can do a nice video. All the functionality and features and operation is just the same in the app. So here we have SPL Pro, and the first thing we want to take a look at is some of your options you have available in the setup. So let's tap the wrench icon here, and that is going to bring up the SPL Setup screen, which has only options for what front panel would you like? Aluminum, plain, which looks like that, or dark metal. And we find that a lot of our users appreciate dark metal, especially when they're running this app in a live sound situation in a darkened room. We are going to switch back to aluminum just because it will demo better for us on the video. So the first thing we see here is that basically what we have here is a digital sound pressure level meter. This meter is going to use all the same calibrations and factors that all the other apps and all the other modules within AudioTools use. And let's take a look first at the weightings. So if we tap the button up here, we get a picker, and we can go from unweighted, A, C, or even any of the octave band filters. And these filters are all Ansi type 1 or better filters that are available. When you've settled on the filter that you want, go back up to the button and press select, and that filter will be in effect. The input level meter, the next thing that we see here, is an actual hardware input level monitor, and that is before the filter. So if you are clipping that meter, you are running out of dynamic range, and at the minimum you have distortion that is altering the values that are there. The iPhone mics and iPod Touch mics all will clip before 100 dB peak, and that can be as little as the mid 80s A weighted. So something to keep in mind. Down here we have a bar that lets us pick between Ansi decay modes. And again, these are all type 1 or type 0 modes. So we have slow, which the numbers won't change very fast. Of course, we have fast, which is a much quicker decay. We have impulse, which reacts to, it's kind of like a form of peak with a different decay curve. And then we have an actual peak mode, which is really just monitoring the peak SPL between every update on the screen. And we'll get into LEQ in just a second as another mode. But while we're here in these modes, let's go back to slow. We've got a field down here that is maximum dB, and we can clear this, and then it will count up and change as our maximum. So that's kind of a peak hold basically. And then we also have a relative field here. And if I push this while I'm talking and capture a value, what it's going to do is it's going to show you the net plus or minus that's currently occurring compared to this value. So I'm going to stop talking for a second. And we see it goes very low. And if I talk more loudly, of course, it'll be higher. Some other meters have called this seat to seat. So you can capture an actual value at a certain position and then move from seat to seat and see how much the level varies as you move. So now let's look at LEQ. So LEQ, for those of you who aren't familiar with the term, is a linear non-exponential decay average. All these other modes have some form of an exponential decay applied to them. LEQ is just simply averaging equal weighted over time, and there's no time limit to this LEQ function. It's counting time down here. What you're seeing up here is the average logarithmically computed SPL level over this amount of time. So the past 22 seconds, we have been averaging about 66 dB. The longer you wait, the longer you let LEQ run, the less you will see this number change, or the slower that it will change, because it has a lot of history behind it. Anytime you want, you can push the reset button and start the process over from the beginning. So there is LEQ. We have one other nice feature in SPL Pro as a full-featured SPL meter, and that's a store button. So when we tap this, a screen pops up, and then we can pick a storage slot and click Store Current Values, and that is the SPL that was present when we entered the store screen. So that was the SPL. It was slow A-weighted. That was the max, that was the reference value, and that's the date and time of the reading. We can also down here store a description, and obviously I can type a lot faster in a simulator than on the phone, but anyway, that we'll store that in there as well. And then you can have as many as 10 readings stored that you can go back and check at any time. And of course the storage is non-volatile on the phone. So there's a look at SPL Pro, the professional grade digital sound level meter for iPhone and iPod Touch.